As the world sinks into quiet stillness and the hurried noise of everyday human life fades gently into the soft distance of the night, we slowly settle into a calm, tranquil state of mind. We allow our breathing to steady and slow, our tense bodies to relax completely, and our wandering thoughts to drift softly upward toward the quiet blue expanse of the sky, to revisit the most romantic, courageous, bittersweet, and unforgettable chapter in the entire century-long history of human civil aviation. The long timeline of aviation progress is mostly defined by steady repetitive iterations of ordinary conventional aircraft, minor incremental technological upgrades, safe and pragmatic industrial compromises, and profit-oriented industrial adjustments that prioritize stability over wonder. Yet one singular, extraordinary flying machine once broke every known physical boundary of civilian flight, transcended all ordinary limitations of traditional air travel, and carried the purest, most ambitious human technological dreams far beyond the invisible barrier of the speed of sound. This remarkable aircraft never truly belonged to the cold, practical, cost-effective, and profit-driven logic of modern commercial aviation that dominates the contemporary aerospace industry. Instead, it stands eternally as a pure, flawless masterpiece of industrial art, a fearless and unyielding exploration of the absolute limits of human aerospace technology, and a fleeting, radiant, and graceful miracle that bloomed vividly across the stratosphere for a brief, glorious era before fading softly and solemnly from the blue sky forever. That one-of-a-kind, legendary, unrepeatable, and eternally memorable flying masterpiece is the Concorde, the world's first, most mature, and only long-range supersonic commercial airliner ever successfully put into stable long-term civilian service in the entire history of human aviation. For more than 27 precious years, the Concorde graced the highest layers of the stratosphere with its uniquely elegant slender delta wings, perfectly streamlined slender fuselage, world-famous iconic droop nose, and graceful cruising posture, completely rewriting the traditional definition of civilian air travel and creating countless unprecedented, unbroken aviation records that still stand firmly in human aerospace history to this very day. It transformed the once distant, almost fantasy-like dream of stable civilian supersonic flight into tangible, real-world reality, compressed the tedious, tiring, time-consuming intercontinental journeys of the 20th century into fleeting, effortless hours of smooth flight, and single-handedly defined the ultimate standard of speed, extreme luxury, technological aesthetics, and pure aviation romance for the entire golden age of 20th century aviation civilization. Nevertheless, just like all peerless, transcendent, and extraordinary creations that stand far above the mundane rules and practical logic of the ordinary commercial world, the Concorde's destined life trajectory was never meant for endless mass popularization, perpetual bustling prosperity, or long-term industrial dominance. It was bravely born from the boldest technological ambition and fearless exploratory spirit of a vibrant technological era, flourished brilliantly in the unrestrained golden age of global aviation innovation and sky conquest, endured endless relentless market setbacks, inherent technical limitations, policy constraints, and unexpected fatal accidental disasters, before finally descending gently and gracefully from the stratosphere, peacefully ending its glorious, legendary, and unparalleled operational journey in complete solemnity and quiet dignity. Its magnificent upward rise and tender, Regretful Fall together compose the most touching, thought-provoking, and emotionally resonant elegy in all modern aviation industrial history. This complete 20,000-word soothing sleep aid TTS narrative unfolds the full and complete life trajectory of the Concorde in slow, immersive, calming detail, gently tracing every step of its quiet embryonic conception amid the global technological boom of the prosperous 1950s, its arduous, decade-long transnational research and development journey throughout the innovative 1960s, its groundbreaking, history-making commercial debut in the revolutionary 1970s, its glamorous, prestigious, golden age of exclusive elite luxury operations spanning 2 full decades, its slow accumulation of hidden operational crises and gradual market decline, and its final dignified retirement and eternal curtain call in the year 2003. We systematically sought through every pivotal historical event that profoundly shaped its unique fate, deeply analyze how each core technological breakthrough, global market environment change, sudden safety accident, and international industrial policy shift gradually altered its developmental path and final destiny, and comprehensively interpret the irreplaceable historical contributions, unique industrial significance, and eternal civilizational value that the Concorde has permanently left for the continuous progress and iterative evolution of human aviation civilization. Meticulously narrated with an ultra-gentle, steady, consistent, and soothing rhythm exclusively tailored for long-duration night TTS listening and deep relaxation. This full-life panoramic review allows every listener immersed in quiet nighttime relaxation to slowly perceive the delicate and profound tension between pure technological romance and harsh industrial reality. Quietly feel the fleeting splendid glory and timeless eternal legacy of this unparalleled supersonic legend, and peacefully comprehend the timeless historical truths and precious industrial lessons hidden behind its magnificent rise and gentle, regretful fall from the sky. To truly understand the extraordinary origin, pure spiritual core, and profound historical significance of the timeless Concorde legend, we must gently return to the unique global technological atmosphere and prosperous industrial context of the vibrant mid-20th century, an incredibly special historical era defined by boundless bold exploration, unrestrained industrial ambition, infinite technological imagination, and fearless human curiosity toward conquering the unknown sky. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, human society entered a vigorous, unprecedented technological explosion period and industrial golden age immediately following the conclusion of World War II. Post-war industrial reconstruction ignited global technological innovation across all fields, and the aviation industry stood at the absolute forefront of this grand technological revolution. Military aviation technology achieved rapid, iterative, breakthrough progress year after year. Modern jet engine performance matured steadily and rapidly. Professional aerodynamic design theories were continuously enriched, supplemented, and perfected by countless top engineers and scholars, and overall human confidence in exploring, conquering, and utilizing the sky reached an unprecedented historical peak that had never been seen in previous centuries. During this remarkable historical period, the global civil aviation industry had just completed its comprehensive, historic transformation from traditional propeller-driven aircraft to modern high-efficiency subsonic jet aircraft. The widespread popularization and large-scale Application of advanced jet airliners greatly improved the overall flight speed, travel comfort, operational stability, and flight safety of ordinary civilian air travel, completely rewriting and reshaping the long-distance cross-regional transportation pattern and intercontinental travel lifestyle of modern human society. Even with such remarkable progress achieved, in the eyes of forward-thinking aviation pioneers, dedicated aerospace engineers, and visionary industrial designers of that ambitious era, stable subsonic flight was never the final destination or ultimate limit of human aviation development, but merely a temporary transitional stage on the endless road of sky exploration and technological iteration. The entire Western global technological community held a unified, firm, and optimistic collective belief, breaking the long-standing sound barrier and realizing stable, large-scale, civilian supersonic flight was the inevitable future trend of global civil aviation progress, the next revolutionary landmark breakthrough for modern human transportation civilization, and the most intuitive, powerful symbol of a nation's advanced industrial strength and cutting-edge technological innovation level. It was precisely within this widespread atmosphere of collective technological optimism, fearless exploratory consciousness, and ambitious industrial pursuit that the conceptual prototype and preliminary technical blueprint of the world's first civilian supersonic airliner quietly took firm root in the long-term industrial layout and technological development plans of the most powerful European aviation powers of the time. In the year 1956, the British government officially established the Professional Supersonic Transport Aircraft Committee, also widely known as STAC, gathering the nation's most authoritative top-tier aviation research institutions, most experienced senior aerodynamic experts, and elite core industrial manufacturing teams from across the entire United Kingdom. This powerful collaborative team included the world-renowned Royal Aircraft Establishment and the prestigious Bristol Aeroplane Company, two of Britain's most authoritative aviation research and manufacturing giants, jointly launching systematic theoretical research, repeated data verification, and rigorous feasibility demonstration for the brand new concept of supersonic civilian transport aircraft. After 3 full years of meticulous massive data calculation, countless repeated aerodynamic simulation experiments, rigorous technical argumentation, and comprehensive performance evaluation, the committee formally released an authoritative conclusion in 1959. Large-scale, stable, safe civilian supersonic flight was completely and scientifically technically feasible, and the team proposed a clear, complete, targeted research and development plan for 2 different types of supersonic airliners, which were precisely tailored to different practical flight ranges and passenger load standards to adapt to diverse future civilian travel needs. At the exact same time, France, another core leading European aviation power with profound aerospace accumulation, also independently launched its own systematic research and development project for supersonic civilian aircraft technology. French professional aviation research institutions possessed extremely profound technical accumulation and practical experience in high-speed aerodynamic structural design and ultra-precision aviation industrial processing, and also regarded cutting-edge supersonic civil aviation technology as an irreplaceable core strategic direction for seizing the future commanding height of the global high-end aviation market. The mid-20th century represented an absolute peak era for comprehensive European aviation manufacturing strength and technological innovation capability. The United Kingdom had accumulated extremely rich practical experience in large-scale complete aircraft manufacturing and advanced jet engine core technology through long-term wartime industrial precipitation and post-war technological upgrading, while France boasted world-leading unique advantages in sophisticated aerodynamic structural optimization design and ultra-precision industrial component processing. Despite their respective technological strengths and industrial foundations, the independent research and development of a brand new supersonic civilian airliner represented an unprecedented superlarge scale high-end industrial project for any single nation. It involved extremely high overall technical difficulty, enormous continuous capital investment, an ultra-long research and development cycle spanning nearly a decade, and countless unknown technical risks and unforeseen engineering challenges that no single European country could independently bear. Faced with this objective industrial reality and technical limitation, Britain and France, two traditional European aviation powers with highly complementary technological advantages, perfectly matching strategic development goals, and consistent forward-looking industrial visions, began gradual, in-depth, sincere industrial cooperation negotiations and technical docking communication. After multiple years of patient repeated technical docking, gradual institutional negotiation, steady resource integration and coordination, and continuous strategic consensus reaching, the two outstanding European aviation nations officially signed a historic, landmark transnational aviation high-end cooperation agreement on November 29, 1962, formally launching the world's first official joint research and development project for a long-range civilian supersonic commercial airliner in human history. This profound cross-border partnership was never a simple, shallow technical exchange or ordinary commercial order collaboration. Instead, it constituted an all-round integrated high-end industrial cooperation model covering full process joint research and development, shared core technical patents, joint capital investment and equal risk-sharing mechanisms, and synchronized standardized production and manufacturing systems across both countries. At that historical moment, this grand project stood as the most influential, highest standard, and most far-reaching cross-border aviation technological cooperation project in the entire history of European industrial development. In the early days of January 1963, the distinguished French President Charles de Gaulle officially granted this revolutionary supersonic aircraft project its official classic name, Concorde. This unique title serves as a harmonious bilingual homophone shared by both French and English languages, carrying profound symbolic meaning of sincere unity, precise technical coordination, and peaceful harmonious cooperation between Britain and France, endowing this cold technological aviation product with warm, profound connotations of cross-national friendship and collaborative industrial progress. From this solemn historical moment onward, the Grand Concorde project officially steps steadily forward from abstract theoretical conception and blueprint design into formal full-scale engineering implementation and practical development, opening the most arduous, magnificent, touching, and legendary research and development journey in the entire century-long history of global civilian aviation development. TO effectively solved the extreme high temperature, ablation and fuselage thermal deformation problem caused by long-term high-speed supersonic flight friction with atmospheric airflow. The professional engineering team of the Concorde adopted a specially independently developed high-temperature-resistant lightweight aluminum alloy composite aviation material for the entire fuselage structure, and carried out ultra-precision systematic structural thermal expansion and contraction design for every component of the complete aircraft. This brings one of the most charming and surprising little facts about the Concorde that few casual listeners know. This elegant supersonic jet could physically grow longer mid-flight. When cruising steadily at Mach 2.04, intense air friction heated the fuselage surface dramatically, pushing the outer skin temperature as high as 127 degrees Celsius, hotter than boiling water on the ground, even though the surrounding stratosphere air temperature plummeted to -57 degrees Celsius. Under such extreme thermal contrast, the entire aircraft fuselage would gently expand, stretching approximately 24 centimeters longer than its static ground length. Passengers seated near the rear fuselage could even faintly feel the subtle structural shift and tiny gap changes caused by this thermal expansion, a quiet, magical phenomenon unique to supersonic flight that made every journey aboard the Concorde utterly one of a kind. During continuous high-speed supersonic flight, all these subtle deformation variables were accurately calculated, preset, and fully considered by senior engineers in the initial design stage to ensure the absolute structural safety, overall stability, and flight reliability of the aircraft under extreme high-temperature working conditions. The most iconic, recognizable, and representative classic design of the entire Concorde aircraft is its unique flexible adjustable droop nose structure, which quickly became its eternal visual symbol across the globe. Another lovely trivia lies in this ingenious mechanism. The nose could droop precisely 12.5 degrees downward during takeoff and landing. Because the delta wing required the jet to maintain a steep nose-up attitude at low speeds to generate sufficient lift, a fixed sharp nose would completely block the pilot's forward and downward vision. The drooping nose perfectly solved this blind spot problem, letting pilots view the runway clearly while preserving the aircraft's flawless streamlined silhouette for supersonic cruising. This subtle design made the Concorde look like a graceful white swan bowing gently mid-flight, earning it countless praises as the most beautiful aircraft humanity has ever created. To perfectly balance the dual conflicting needs of high-speed streamlined aerodynamic flight efficiency and low-speed takeoff and landing downward sight visibility, professional engineers created this revolutionary adjustable droop nose mechanism. During high-speed supersonic cruising flight, the aircraft nose would be fully raised and locked to maintain the most optimal streamlined aerodynamic shape and minimize flight resistance to the greatest extent. During low-speed takeoff, precise landing, and ground taxiing processes, the nose could be smoothly and slowly lowered to provide pilots with ultra-wide downward viewing vision, completely solving the inherent visual blind spot problem that plagued all slender high-speed aircraft during low-speed ground and low-altitude operations. This highly humanized, precise, and innovative industrial design became the most recognizable classic symbol of the Concorde across the world, making its elegant, agile, and unique flight posture deeply rooted in the global public's aesthetic memory and aviation cognition for generations. To effectively solve the extreme high-temperature ablation and fuselage thermal deformation problem caused by long-term high-speed supersonic flight friction with atmospheric airflow, the professional engineering team of the Concorde adopted a specially independently developed high-temperature-resistant lightweight aluminum alloy composite aviation material for the entire fuselage structure, and carried out ultra-precision systematic structural thermal expansion and contraction design for every component of the complete aircraft. During continuous high-speed supersonic flight, the aircraft fuselage would produce tiny regular thermal elongation deformation due to atmospheric friction and temperature rise, and all these subtle deformation variables were accurately calculated, preset, and fully considered by senior engineers in the initial design stage to ensure the absolute structural safety, overall stability, and flight reliability of the aircraft under extreme high-temperature working conditions. The most iconic, recognizable, and representative classic design of the entire Concorde aircraft is its unique flexible adjustable droop nose structure, which quickly became its eternal visual symbol across the globe. To perfectly balance the dual conflicting needs of high-speed streamlined aerodynamic flight efficiency and low-speed takeoff and landing downward sight visibility, professional engineers created this revolutionary adjustable droop nose mechanism. During high-speed supersonic cruising flight, the aircraft nose would be fully raised and locked to maintain the most optimal streamlined aerodynamic shape and minimize flight resistance to the greatest extent. During low-speed takeoff, precise landing, and ground taxiing processes, the nose could be smoothly and slowly lowered to provide pilots with ultra-wide downward viewing vision, completely solving the inherent visual blind spot problem that plagued all slender high-speed aircraft during low-speed ground and low-altitude operations. This highly humanized, precise, and innovative industrial design became the most recognizable classic symbol of the Concorde across the world, making its elegant, agile, and unique flight posture deeply rooted in the global public's aesthetic memory and aviation cognition for generations. After 7 full consecutive years of continuous iterative test flight optimization, strict airworthiness certification verification, comprehensive safety performance inspection, and meticulous commercial operation preparation work, the Concorde finally ushered in its grand historic commercial debut on January 21, 1976, opening a brand new chapter for human intercontinental travel. On this extraordinary and memorable historical day, British Airways and Air France simultaneously launched official commercial supersonic flight services to the world. A classic British Airways Concorde aircraft took off steadily from London Heathrow Airport, heading eastward toward Bahrain in the Middle East, while a professional Air France Concorde departed smoothly from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, flying across the ocean toward Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. These 2 synchronized official commercial flights grandly opened the unprecedented era of human civilian supersonic air travel, completely breaking and rewriting the century-old speed limit of traditional subsonic civilian aviation, and unveiling a brand new glorious chapter in the evolution of human long-distance intercontinental transportation civilization. In all subsequent formal commercial operation processes, the most shocking, intuitive, and impressive core advantage of the Concorde was its unparalleled extreme flight speed that subverted public cognition, which also gifted it one of the most romantic nicknames in aviation history, the time-traveling airliner. A wonderful, dreamlike fun fact defines its transatlantic journeys. The flight from Paris to New York took merely 3 hours and 15 minutes, yet the time difference between the 2 cities reached 6 hours. Passengers boarding the Concorde would arrive in New York local time earlier than their departure time in Paris, allowing them to fly back in time and gain nearly 3 hours of extra time on every trip. For ordinary travelers, this surreal experience of watching the clock turn backward mid-flight was an indescribably magical and unforgettable treat exclusive to Concorde passengers alone. In that era, conventional mainstream subsonic airliners required at least 7 to 8 full hours to complete the classic transatlantic cross-ocean flight journey from New York to London. In stark comparison, the powerful Concorde could effortlessly compress this entire long intercontinental journey into merely 2 hours and 53 minutes of smooth, stable flight. For the very first time in the entire history of human civilization, ordinary civilian passengers could cross the vast, endless Atlantic Ocean in less than 3 hours, realizing an extreme travel efficiency that had previously belonged only to fantasy and science fiction. This unprecedented extreme speed advantage completely subverted people's long-standing inherent cognition and fixed perception of tedious long-distance intercontinental travel, bringing unprecedented precious time freedom, ultra-efficient travel experience, and supreme travel convenience to global high-end business travelers, international elites, and upper-class social groups across the world. In the initial early stage of its official commercial operation, the Concorde quickly became the most dazzling, eye-catching star in the entire global aviation industry, triggering widespread global public attention, intense media coverage, and enthusiastic social pursuit across all continents. Its futuristic ultra-streamlined appearance, elegant unique delta wing cruising posture, exclusive unprecedented supersonic flight experience, and extremely scarce flight service qualifications made it the supreme symbol of top-level modern luxury, international fashion trend, and noble high-end social status throughout the 1970s and 1980s. Beyond its glamorous reputation, another lesser-known fun trait of the Concorde was its extremely distinctive operational characteristics, especially its identity as a legendary fuel tiger of commercial aviation. Equipped with 4 high-thrust customized turbojet engines, the Concorde consumed an astonishing 1.5 tons of fuel every single minute during takeoff, burning through 20.5 tons of fuel per hour during supersonic cruising. It carried a maximum fuel load of nearly 96 tons, yet its ultra-high-speed flight mode left it with a very limited endurance, unable to complete long-distance non-stop flights without precise route planning. This extreme fuel consumption was one of its most unique industrial features, setting it completely apart from all fuel-efficient subsonic civilian airliners. During this glorious period, taking a cross-Atlantic supersonic flight on board the legendary Concorde became the most prestigious, honorable, and exclusive travel experience for global top celebrities, wealthy business tycoons, senior political elites, and renowned literary and artistic stars from all over the world. In an interesting commercial episode that perfectly illustrates its cultural influence, one Concorde aircraft was specially repainted with a full Pepsi Cola blue livery for a global brand promotion campaign in the 1990s, becoming the only Concorde in history with a non-traditional white-silver exterior. Due to aviation safety regulations and thermal balance requirements, this blue-painted Concorde was forced to reduce its maximum cruising speed slightly, as dark paint absorbed more stratospheric heat and disrupted the precise thermal design of the fuselage, a tiny, quirky compromise born from the collision of aviation technology and commercial fashion. The Concorde's exclusive cabin adopted a pure ultra-high-end customized luxury service mode, with an ultra-small refined passenger capacity of only approximately 100 seats per flight, completely eliminating ordinary economy class settings, with all seats configured as high-grade independent, first-class luxury seating. The entire cabin space was exquisitely laid out, extremely comfortable, quiet, and elegant. The onboard service was meticulous, exclusive, and personalized to the highest standard, and all in-flight catering and supporting service facilities adopted the top-level customized configuration of global aviation service standards at that time, creating an extremely noble, private, quiet, and exclusive travel atmosphere that was completely different from all ordinary public commercial flights. For more than 2 glorious decades, the Concorde was universally synonymous with supreme ultra-luxury supersonic travel, fully representing the ultimate ritual sense, highest service standard, and most advanced travel experience of human civil aviation in the entire 20th century. In the initial early stage of its official commercial operation, the Concorde quickly became the most dazzling, eye-catching star in the entire global aviation industry, triggering widespread global public attention, intense media coverage, and enthusiastic social pursuit across all continents. Its futuristic ultra-streamlined appearance, elegant unique delta wing cruising posture, exclusive unprecedented supersonic flight experience, and extremely scarce flight service qualifications made it the supreme symbol of top-level modern luxury, international fashion trend, and noble high-end social status throughout the 1970s and 1980s. During this glorious period, taking across Atlantic, supersonic flight on board the legendary Concorde became the most prestigious, honorable, and exclusive travel experience for global top celebrities, wealthy business tycoons, senior political elites, and renowned literary and artistic stars from all over the world. The Concorde's exclusive cabin adopted a pure ultra-high-end customized luxury service mode, with an ultra-small refined passenger capacity of only approximately 100 seats per flight, completely eliminating ordinary economy class settings, with all seats configured as high-grade independent first-class luxury seating. The entire cabin space was exquisitely laid out, extremely comfortable, quiet, and elegant. The onboard service was meticulous, exclusive, and personalized to the highest standard, and all in-flight catering and supporting service facilities adopted the top-level customized configuration of global aviation service standards at that time, creating an extremely noble, private, quiet, and exclusive travel atmosphere that was completely different from all ordinary public commercial flights. For more than 2 glorious decades, the Concorde was universally synonymous with supreme ultra-luxury supersonic travel, fully representing the ultimate ritual sense, highest service standard, and most advanced travel experience of human civil aviation in the entire 20th century. From the professional perspective of industrial development history and human technological civilization progress, the remarkable Concorde has created countless irreplicable historical firsts and eternal classic industry benchmarks in the long evolutionary process of global human aviation, leaving extremely precious, valuable technological heritage and profound civilizational wealth for the continuous progress and iterative upgrading of human aviation industry. First and foremost, it successfully achieved the first long-term stable commercial operation of civilian supersonic flight in the entire history of human aviation. Before the birth and application of the Concorde, all supersonic flight technologies and high-speed flight practices were strictly limited to the field of military fighter aircraft and military aviation equipment, while civilian supersonic flight had always been an unattainable theoretical dream and a long-standing technological blank in global civil aviation. The Concorde successfully broke the long-standing technical barrier between mature military supersonic aviation technology and practical civilian commercial application, fully proving the scientific feasibility, operational safety, and practical commercial value of large-scale civilian supersonic flight, and laying a solid, reliable technical foundation for the future continuous exploration and iterative development of new generation supersonic civil aviation technology. Secondly, the Concorde pioneered and verified a large number of innovative original aviation design technologies that have been continuously inherited, referenced, and further developed by the global aviation industry up to the present day. Its mature high-speed aerodynamic optimization theory, practical high-temperature resistant aviation material application technology, creative adjustable Droop nose design logic, precise supersonic engine fuel efficiency intelligent control system, and stable high-speed flight balance control technology have all become core important technical references for subsequent high-speed aircraft overall design and advanced aviation material iterative upgrading, effectively promoting the overall technological progress and industrial upgrading of the entire global aviation manufacturing industry. In addition to its technological breakthroughs, the Concorde's unique transnational joint research and development and collaborative manufacturing model created a brand new replicable paradigm for global high-end aviation industrial cooperation and cross-border technological innovation. The in-depth organic integration of British and French core aviation technologies, equal shared risk and benefit mechanism, and full process synchronous collaborative research, development, and manufacturing mode provided a mature, complete, replicable cooperation template for subsequent large-scale cross-border aviation engineering projects and global high-end manufacturing industry collaborative innovation. More importantly, the Concorde successfully expanded the overall cognitive boundary of human flight civilization, allowing ordinary human beings to truly and intuitively feel the infinite potential and broad possibilities of conquering the sky far beyond the traditional speed of sound. It completely broke the public's long-standing stereotyped fixed perception that civilian aviation development could only blindly pursue absolute safety and economic pragmatism, and powerfully proved that modern civilian aircraft could also bravely pursue extreme flight speed, exquisite industrial technological aesthetics, and pure aviation romantic ideals, injecting endless positive spiritual motivation and fearless exploratory courage into the continuous technological innovation and breakthrough progress of human aviation industry. Even long after its official retirement from commercial operation, many of the advanced aviation design concepts and rigorous technical standards fully verified and accumulated by the Concorde are still playing an important guiding and reference role in the independent research and development, design optimization, and performance upgrading of modern new generation supersonic aircraft and high-speed aviation equipment worldwide. Nevertheless, behind the Concorde's brilliant, glorious aura and supreme technological status in the global aviation industry, fatal inherent industrial defects, structural development contradictions, and long-term hidden operational dangers had been quietly buried since the very initial stage of project conception and technical research and development. The entire life trajectory of the Concorde is the most vivid and thorough industrial interpretation of the eternal confrontation and delicate balance between pure technological romance and harsh commercial industrial reality. It was destined for glory because of human beings' ultimate pursuit of extreme technological breakthroughs, yet also doomed to gradual decline because of the inherent irreconcilable conflicts between extreme cutting-edge technology and traditional commercial industrial operation rules. The first core major dilemma that plagued the Concorde's long-term sustainable development was its extremely high comprehensive manufacturing cost and prohibitive daily operational cost. The ultra-high standard full process research and development configuration, fully customized high-precision aviation parts, exclusive professional supersonic engine supporting equipment, and complex multi-layer thermal protection structural design led to a sharp surge in the Concorde's overall manufacturing cost per unit aircraft. Furthermore, its unique supersonic high-speed flight mode required extremely astonishing fuel consumption, with fuel consumption per unit passenger far exceeding that of all mainstream subsonic wide-body airliners of the same era, resulting in extremely high single-flight operational costs and poor economic efficiency. In the commercial aviation industry system, which takes long-term profit sustainability and large-scale market popularization as its core operating goals, the Concorde special cost structure possessed inherent irreparable fatal defects. It could never achieve large-scale mass production and low-cost popular public operation like ordinary civilian airliners, and could only rely on ultra-high premium ticket prices to maintain basic operational cost balance, fundamentally and permanently limiting its overall market expansion space and industrial development potential. Affected by the dual severe constraints of ultra-high comprehensive cost and universal sonic boom policy restrictions, the Concorde's global market development fell into a passive and difficult dilemma from the very initial stage of commercial launch. During the early publicity and research and development stage of the project, many mainstream large-scale global airlines once expressed strong purchase intention and high market recognition for this futuristic supersonic airliner, and the overall market prospect was once widely optimistic and promising across the entire aviation industry. Industry analysts once calculated a vivid and regrettable data trivia. The Concorde program needed to sell at least 64 finished aircraft to achieve full cost break-even and basic profitability. However, the final total production volume of the entire Concorde model series was merely 20 aircraft in total, including 2 professional technical prototypes and 2 pre-production verification aircraft, while only 14 formal qualified commercial aircraft were officially put into long-term civilian commercial operation. This output was barely 1/4 of the break-even quantity, and merely 1/15 of the initial ambitious target of 300 planned aircraft sales envisioned by British and French designers. Compared with the tens of thousands of mass production volume of classic mainstream subsonic airliners such as the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320 that dominate the modern aviation market, the Concorde's overall production scale was extremely small and niche, completely failing to form effective industrial-scale economic benefits. The long-term lack of scale production advantages further pushed up its unit aircraft manufacturing cost, daily maintenance cost, and special spare parts reserve cost year by year, forming a continuous vicious cycle of high operating costs, low delivery volume, and difficult sustainable profitability, laying solid long-term hidden dangers for its subsequent gradual operational decline and final market exit. Affected by the dual severe constraints of ultra-high comprehensive cost and universal sonic boom policy restrictions, the Concorde's global market development fell into a passive and difficult dilemma from the very initial stage of commercial launch. During the early publicity and research and development stage of the project, Many mainstream large-scale global airlines once expressed strong purchase intention and high market recognition for this futuristic supersonic airliner, and the overall market prospect was once widely optimistic and promising across the entire aviation industry. However, after the official launch of formal commercial operation, the combination of ultra-high premium ticket prices, extremely limited available route scope, and strict multi-dimensional operational restrictions made all global airlines gradually abandon their previous purchase plans and investment intentions. In the final industrial outcome, among all global aviation enterprises worldwide, only the two official cooperative airlines of the original project, British Airways and Air France, officially equipped and formally operated the Concorde fleet. The total final production volume of the entire Concorde model series was merely 20 aircraft in total, including 2 professional technical prototypes and 2 pre-production verification aircraft, while only 14 formal qualified commercial aircraft were officially put into long-term civilian commercial operation. Compared with the tens of thousands of mass production volume of classic mainstream subsonic airliners such as the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320 that dominate the modern aviation market, the Concorde's overall production scale was extremely small and niche, completely failing to form effective industrial-scale economic benefits. The long-term lack of scale production advantages further pushed up its unit aircraft manufacturing cost, daily maintenance cost, and special spare parts reserve cost year by year, forming a continuous vicious cycle of high operating costs, low delivery volume, and difficult sustainable profitability, laying solid long-term hidden dangers for its subsequent gradual operational decline and final market exit, faced with the severe operational dilemma of extremely narrow market coverage, single route structure, and difficult long-term profit balance. British Airways and Air France jointly carried out long-term strategic adjustment and precise market positioning optimization for the Concorde fleet. The two airlines completely abandoned the conventional mass popularization and public low-cost operation mode adopted by ordinary civil aviation products, and actively transformed the Concorde into a top-level ultra-luxury exclusive high-end travel product targeted at elite groups only. The two aviation companies sharply raised the Concorde's official ticket prices, setting the fare far higher than the ordinary first-class ticket prices of all mainstream intercontinental airliners of the same period, and matched the high premium ticket price with the most extreme exclusive private cabin service, customized private travel experience, and top-level high-end supporting service facilities. This precise niche high-end market positioning successfully rescued the Concorde from its initial operational dilemma. Although it completely abandoned large-scale popular public passenger transportation, it successfully accumulated a fixed stable high-end customer group in the global elite travel market, and gradually achieved continuous stable operational profitability in the long-term high-premium niche market. From the early 1980s to the late 1990s, spanning nearly 2 full decades, the Concorde ushered in the most stable, prosperous, and glorious golden operational period of its entire life cycle. For more than 20 years, these elegant silver supersonic aircraft shuttled back and forth steadily across the vast blue Atlantic sky on a daily basis, carrying countless global political elites, business leaders, cultural celebrities, and upper-class passengers, personally witnessing the most luxurious, efficient, and prestigious intercontinental travel era of the late 20th century, and gradually becoming an indelible classic fashion symbol and supreme technological legend in European Social culture and global aviation history. Throughout this long and stable golden operational stage, the Concorde maintained an extremely outstanding, enviable safety flight record that amazed the entire global aviation industry. For more than 20 consecutive years of stable formal commercial operation, this high-tech supersonic aircraft with extreme flight performance and complex structural design maintained an ultra-low accident rate, far exceeding the average safety level of many conventional mature subsonic airliners of the same historical period. Its rigorous British-French joint European manufacturing standards, precise mature flight control system, and strict standardized daily maintenance and comprehensive inspection mechanism ensured the long-term stable, safe, and reliable operation of the entire fleet, accumulating excellent market reputation and supreme safety credibility in the global aviation market. For a long period of time, the Concorde was not only a world-famous symbol of aviation technological luxury and advanced innovation, but also a representative benchmark of ultra-high standard aviation safety and reliable quality, winning wide official recognition and full public trust from the entire global aviation industry and high-end passenger groups worldwide. Nevertheless, the seemingly stable, prosperous, and glorious long-term operational state could never completely cover up the increasingly severe hidden operational crises accumulating silently within the fleet. Gradual aircraft platform aging, continuous annual rise of comprehensive maintenance costs, gradual lag and shortage of special spare part supply, and the strong market impact of new generation advanced subsonic wide-body airliners on the traditional high-end travel market were constantly eroding the Concorde's limited living space and market advantages, making its long-term operational prospects increasingly severe and uncertain year after year. The first fatal historical turning point that completely shattered the Concorde's long-term stable operational state, destroyed its flawless safety myth, and officially accelerated its irreversible decline arrived on July 25, 2000, marking the only major fatal safety accident in the entire official operational history of the Concorde fleet, and becoming the irreversible starting point of its legendary curtain call from the global sky. On this fateful day, Air France Flight 4590, a classic Concorde supersonic airliner performing an international passenger flight mission, took off from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport in France, officially embarking on its scheduled route toward New York JFK Airport in the United States. Shortly after a smooth takeoff, the aircraft's left main fuel tank was accidentally punctured by a small metal debris dropped by another ordinary aircraft on the runway surface, resulting in rapid massive fuel leakage from the fuselage bottom. The highly flammable leaked aviation fuel was quickly ignited by the high-temperature tail flame of the operating engines, triggering a violent continuous fire under the aircraft fuselage. The rapidly burning aircraft quickly lost stable flight balance and operational stability, failed to complete normal climbing flight, and could not return to the airport runway for emergency landing due to insufficient altitude and speed. In the final tragic outcome, the damaged aircraft crashed directly into a civilian hotel near the airport, causing the unfortunate death of all 109 passengers and crew members on board, as well as 4 innocent ground staff casualties. This sudden and heartbreaking tragic accident shocked the entire global aviation industry and public opinion system. Overnight, completely breaking and collapsing the Concorde's decades-long flawless safety myth and supreme reliable safety image accumulated over 20 years of stable operation. Although subsequent official professional accident investigations and repeated technical verifications fully confirmed that this devastating crash was entirely caused by accidental runway foreign object damage, rather than any inherent structural design flaws or performance defects of the Concorde aircraft itself, the global public's long-standing confidence and trust in this iconic supersonic airliner was completely and irreversibly shattered. For the very first time in aviation history, ordinary people around the world began to question the inherent potential safety risks of extreme high-speed supersonic flight, and the mysterious, noble, and luxurious aura that had surrounded the Concorde for decades was completely dispelled by this sudden tragic disaster. Immediately after the accident, all Concorde aircraft belonging to British Airways and Air France were fully grounded nationwide for comprehensive safety inspection, full structural modification, systematic hidden danger elimination, and overall performance upgrading. This long-term full-fleet grounding caused the two cooperative airlines to suffer extremely huge economic losses and operational pressure. A large number of fixed high-end passenger groups were lost permanently, and the supreme brand reputation accumulated carefully over decades suffered irreversible fatal damage. After more than 1 full year of comprehensive safety upgrading, systematic technical rectification, and repeated flight verification, the Concorde fleet officially resumed limited commercial flight operations in November 2001. However, the precious market confidence and sincere passenger trust that had been lost could never be fully restored or rebuilt. The once hotly sought-after, prestigious supersonic luxury travel market quickly fell into a severe passenger shortage dilemma, and the Concorde's long-term operational profitability plummeted sharply to an unprecedented low level just as the Concorde fleet was struggling arduously to recover from a devastating safety accident and severe market confidence crisis. The sudden September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001 brought a second fatal superimposed blow to the already fragile supersonic fleet, completely crushing the last remaining possibility of market recovery and operational revival for the Concorde. After the horrific 9/11 incident, global civil aviation safety awareness rose sharply to an unprecedented height. Widespread public travel panic spread rapidly across all countries and regions, and the entire global civil aviation market suffered a comprehensive, severe, long-term industry downturn. The total number of global cross-border business travels and high-end luxury tourism travels dropped sharply overnight, and the market demand for ultra-luxury exclusive private air travel almost completely evaporated in an instant. The Concorde fleet, which completely relied on high-premium high-end passenger flow to maintain basic operational profitability, instantly lost its only core market support and survival foundation. At the same time, global aviation insurance costs rose sharply across the industry in the post-terrorist attack era, and the Concorde's special high-risk supersonic flight mode faced a sharp surge in comprehensive insurance premiums and safety management costs, further exacerbating its already severe operational cost pressure. The dual superimposed impact of sudden market demand collapse and continuous operational cost surge pushed the Concorde's overall operational situation to an irreversible historical trough, leaving almost no room for adjustment and recovery, in the subsequent 2 years of difficult and struggling operation. All long-term hidden operational problems and accumulated structural drawbacks of the Concorde fleet broke out in an all-round and thorough manner. The aircraft platforms that had been in continuous service for more than 20 years showed obvious aging symptoms. various minor mechanical failures occurred frequently and repeatedly, and the overall difficulty and economic cost of daily maintenance increased year by year. Due to the extremely small total production volume of the entire Concorde series and long-term market exit expectations, the official production of special customized spare parts had long been completely stopped, and the reserved supporting spare parts inventory became increasingly scarce and insufficient, resulting in prolonged maintenance cycles, reduced flight efficiency, and increased operational instability. At the same time, the continuous technological iteration and market upgrading of new generation advanced subsonic wide-body airliners, such as the Boeing 777 and Airbus A330, also brought unprecedented strong competitive pressure to the aging Concorde fleet. These modern new generation aircraft possessed larger passenger capacity, lower fuel consumption, higher operational stability, richer global route coverage, and more affordable high-end cabin ticket prices. They could provide global high-end passengers with more comfortable, stable, safe, and diversified long-distance travel experience at lower operational costs, completely replacing and surpassing the Concorde's traditional high-end market positioning and service advantages. The Concorde's only remaining core advantage of pure flight speed could no longer make up for its comprehensive disadvantages in operational cost, passenger comfort, flight stability, route flexibility, and service diversity, completely losing its market competitiveness and survival value, faced with the irreversible comprehensive decline of core market demand, continuous deterioration of operational economic benefits, gradual aging and performance degradation of aircraft equipment, and endless, superimposed operational pressure and maintenance difficulties. British Airways and Air France finally made the extremely difficult, helpless, and regrettable strategic decision to completely retire the entire Concorde supersonic fleet. Throughout the year 2003, the two major airlines successively issued official announcements to the public, formally terminating all commercial flight operations of the Concorde fleet, officially ending the glorious, legendary operational journey of the world's only mature commercial supersonic airliner in human history. On the quiet and memorable day of October 24, 2003, the last official commercial flight of British Airways Concorde successfully completed its scheduled transatlantic flight mission and landed smoothly and gently at London Heathrow Airport. With the soft landing of this last silver supersonic legend, the entire glorious era of human commercial supersonic civil aviation officially drew to a complete and solemn end. All remaining serviceable Concorde aircraft were officially retired from all commercial flight operations, and were subsequently permanently collected, preserved, and displayed in major professional aviation museums around the world, becoming static precious historical exhibits that silently witness the brilliant supersonic glory of a bygone technological era. The complete official retirement of the Concorde fleet marked the thorough and final curtain call of the first generation of human supersonic civil aviation exploration attempts, peacefully ending the short yet extremely brilliant supersonic travel era that had lasted for 27 precious years. From the purely commercial industrial operation and market profit perspective, the Concorde is often regarded as an unsuccessful industrial product. It failed to realize large-scale market popularization and universal public application, failed to form long-term sustainable industrial profitability and commercial scale benefits, and finally exited the mainstream aviation market due to the inherent irreconcilable conflict between extreme pure technological pursuit and pragmatic commercial operational rules. However, from the grand perspective of human aviation civilization progress, aerospace technological exploration significance, and industrial spiritual heritage value, the Concorde stands as an unparalleled, eternal, and irreplaceable industrial miracle in human history, whose lofty historical status and profound civilizational value can never be denied, weakened, or replaced by any standard of commercial success or market failure. It represents the bravest and most persistent attempt of human beings to break the inherent speed limit of traditional civilian aviation, the most perfect integration of cutting-edge industrial technology and exquisite aesthetic art, and the most romantic, magnificent, and unforgettable technological dream in the entire modern history of global aviation development. Looking back calmly and comprehensively on the complete life course of the Concorde, from its bold original conception and arduous cross-border joint research and development, to its glamorous exclusive luxury operation and supreme industrial glory, to its accidental crisis impact and gradual operational decline, and finally to its dignified official retirement and eternal historical curtain call, every complete stage of its growth, prosperity, and decline has left extremely profound and valuable historical enlightenment for the long-term development of global civil aviation and the high-end manufacturing industry. The brilliant rise of the Concorde teaches us that the continuous progress of human civilization always originates from fearless technological exploration, persistent breakthrough attempts, and transcendental dream pursuit beyond existing industrial boundaries. All great industrial innovations that rewrite human historical records and create new industrial eras are never derived from passive pragmatic compromise and profit-driven technological conservatism, but from the ultimate persistent pursuit of extreme technological limits and the fearless courage to challenge existing industrial rules and market conventions. It broke the inherent conservative cognition and fixed industrial thinking of the global aviation industry in the mid-20th century, fully proved the infinite potential of human independent technological innovation and industrial breakthrough, and created a series of unprecedented classic aviation records that still shine brightly across the long passage of decades. The gentle fall of the Concorde also reveals the eternal balance development law for all global high-end manufacturing enterprises and technological innovation industries. Any advanced technological innovation that seriously deviates from objective market demand, ignores basic industrial cost rules, and breaks universal environmental and policy constraints can never achieve long-term stable sustainable operation and lasting industrial prosperity. The ultimate core value of all industrial technological progress lies in serving the public social needs of human society and realizing the balanced coordinated development of technological innovation progress, practical economic benefits, and comprehensive social value. Excessively pursuing extreme single technological performance while ignoring objective practical industrial rules and market laws will inevitably lead to the complete disconnection between advanced technological products and the real market era, ultimately making them fade out of the historical stage quietly and regretfully. The Concorde's touching and regretful ending is never a failure of core aviation technology, but a helpless and inevitable compromise between pure technological romance and harsh real-world industrial reality, leaving extremely precious, profound, and far-reaching historical lessons for the future iterative upgrading and innovative development of global new generation supersonic civil aviation technology. Up to the present day, more than 20 full years have passed peacefully since the Concorde's official comprehensive retirement from commercial service. The entire global civil aviation market has completely returned to the stable conventional operational state of subsonic flight, which prioritizes safety, economy, and universality. All mainstream civilian airliners currently flying across the global sky still strictly adhere to the pragmatic design concepts of absolute flight safety, economical operational efficiency, universal applicability, and large-scale public popularization. Up to now, no new mature supersonic commercial airliner has successfully completed research and development verification and entered large-scale formal commercial operation. In the current global aviation era dominated by rigorous cost control, profit priority, and market pragmatism, the Concorde's extreme pure technological pursuit, unique luxurious operational mode, and dreamlike unparalleled supersonic travel experience have become completely unrepeatable and irreproducible historical legends. Even so, its precious historical legacy and industrial spirit have never faded with the passage of time and market changes. The innovative aviation technologies fully verified by the Concorde, the unique cross-border industrial cooperation models actively explored, the massive extreme flight performance data accumulated over 27 years, and the exquisite aviation aesthetic standards created by this legendary aircraft are still continuously nourishing and promoting the steady progress and innovative upgrading of the modern global aviation industry. In the quiet gentle flow of time, the remarkable Concorde has long transcended the simple category of a single civilian aircraft product, gradually evolving into a profound cultural symbol and eternal spiritual monument belonging to a whole glorious technological era. It perfectly represents the most fearless exploratory spirit and innovative vitality of the global technological boom era in the mid-20th century, carries the most beautiful, pure, and persistent supersonic flight dreams of human beings, and faithfully witnesses the most glorious peak moment of European high-end aviation manufacturing industry in modern history. Every delicate streamlined curve of its elegant fuselage, every precise sophisticated aerodynamic design detail, every record-breaking stable supersonic flight across the Atlantic, and every luxurious exclusive cross-ocean travel experience it once provided have been completely solidified into eternal precious historical memories, becoming the most gorgeous, touching, and unforgettable splendid splendor in the entire century-long history of human aviation civilization. In the endless long river of human industrial civilization, all purely pragmatic, profit-oriented, and popular industrial products will eventually be iterated, updated, and eliminated with the continuous progress of the times and technological development. However, all dream-driven pure technological exploration and romantic industrial pursuit beyond commercial interests will always possess eternal vitality and far-reaching historical significance. The Concorde's gradual fading from the sky and its gentle curtain call are never the permanent end of human supersonic flight dreams, but only a temporary quiet pause in the long-term exploration process of human supersonic civil aviation technology. It leaves endless precious reverie, profound thinking, and warm expectation for the future innovative development of human aviation industry. Perhaps one bright day in the future, with the continuous breakthrough of new energy aviation technology, the iterative upgrading of new lightweight high-strength aerodynamic materials, and the effective optimization of supersonic noise reduction and sonic boom suppression technology, human beings will surely return to the glorious era of supersonic aviation once again, create more mature, economical, environmentally friendly, and practical new generation supersonic airliners, and continue the unfinished brilliant supersonic dream that the great Concorde once started for all mankind. Tonight, in the quiet, gentle, and peaceful atmosphere of the deep night, we slowly review the magnificent rise and soft quiet fall of the timeless Concorde legend, calmly feeling the unparalleled splendid glory and faint touching regret of this unique supersonic flying miracle. It once traversed the vast blue Atlantic sky steadily at twice the speed of sound, greatly shortened the time and distance between continents, broke the inherent limits of human intercontinental travel time and space, and brought countless extraordinary, luxurious, and unforgettable high-speed travel experiences to modern human society. It once stood firmly at the absolute peak of global aviation technology, fully representing the highest level of civilian supersonic flight technology and industrial manufacturing capability in human history, and wrote an indelible brilliant chapter for the continuous progress of human aviation civilization. Although it has finally left the blue sky forever and faded slowly from the public sight, its noble legend and brilliant spirit have never faded with time. The supreme splendor it once bloomed in the stratosphere has been permanently fixed in the grand history of human industrial civilization, becoming a soft, profound, warm, and eternal precious memory hidden quietly in the endless long river of time. This is the complete life of the legendary Concorde, a magnificent splendor solemnly born from pure human technological dreams, a gentle curtain call helplessly brought by realistic industrial rules, and an eternal aviation legend that will never be forgotten by the times, by history, and by every lover of aviation romance.